Hello. I am. Except I think I need to be up higher. That's the only shirtless BJ you're getting. I'm sorry. We are going to focus on hamstrings and quads and shoulders. Kind of a full body press. Should be fun. Sorry, I can't see what this is going to look like before I go live, so it's a little bit of a guessing game. Looks pretty good if I move this. We'll get started lying on our backs, and I want you to have a couple things for today's practice. One of them being a wall that's just near your practice space, and if your knees are sensitive, having a pillow or something to cushion your knee would be good, and then either a yoga strap or something that approximates that, so that would be like a sweater with long sleeves, or a dish towel would work. Anything that you can use to hook around your foot to stretch your hamstrings. So if you need a second to rearrange or grab your equipment, do it. And we are getting started lying on our backs. Just extend your arms and legs out like you were in Shavasana. Close your eyes. Count out 10 cycles of deep breath in and out through your nose. And think about this breathing practice almost like you're priming an engine. You're building awareness internally and externally of your body, of your breath, of your own capacity to generate effort and intention in the way that you're existing in the moment right now. And you're preparing yourself for movement, preparing yourself for your practice. Let's interlace fingers. Flip your palms away from you and press them overhead. Let your shoulders slide up towards your ears. Let your rib cage elevate away from your pelvis and maybe away from the floor. And then as you bring your hands forward and you release your flip of the wrists, you'll press through and just sit up. So get your core engaged, get your spine working, and then we'll reverse that. So as you unroll, fingers interlace, palms press away. Think about tractioning out your whole body here. So everything moves away from center, away from anything that's near it. And then you generate engagement and drawing in to sit up. Let's do that again. Inhale, expand, stretch. And exhale, sit up. As you lower, try to control. Inhale, stretch. Exhale, sit up. Let's do one more. Inhale, lower, flip the palms. And exhale, sit up and reach. Then you'll grab your strap or your alternate. You also actually, like if you have a elastic booty bands, those work really well too. I actually prefer those to yoga straps. So you're sitting up and you're going to bring your strap around your right foot, hold on to it with both hands, and then bring the leg with you as you unroll onto your back into a hamstring stretch. And then use momentum, we want that here, to kick yourself up and fold in over the legs. And we're gonna do that 5 times as well. You can breathe in whatever rhythm feels natural. You could do this with your hands on your foot if you wanted to. See if you can draw yourself a little bit more deeply into both segments of the stretch with each repetition. Let's do one more. We'll end up sitting upright. Keep just your left hand on the strap and sit up tall. If you need to hinge forward slightly, you can, but try to sit up as tall as you can. And let's reach the right arm forward with the thumb up, and then sweep the right arm back as far back as you can. And reach forward. Try to keep your legs parallel to each other. You might find that one hip wants to shift forward of the other. Try to avoid that. The strap connecting the left hand and the right foot is creating a lot of internal stability and integrity in the stretch, and then we're twisting against that. So it's keeping us from getting sloppy with the twist. Let's do one more. Good. And then as you reach forward for this last one, just the right hand is going to take a hold of the strap. You'll roll down onto your back, and you'll let the right leg sweep away from the midline. Left arm reaches out to the side for stability. Try to keep both sides of your butt on the ground. And feel free to move here if you like. And then let's bring the leg back through center and sit up. And we'll switch the strap over to the left foot. Both hands hold on to the strap for this first movement. Slow unroll to the mat into a pretty familiar hamstring stretch if you do yoga regularly. And then power up and fold forward into like a one-sided Paschimottanasana, or seated forward fold. We're doing this 5 times. Notice if you have a tendency to want to really lock out the left knee, and if that's adding to the stretch and to the movement, or if it's a compensation or a habit. Let's do one more. And then once you're seated upright, we switch the strap over to the right hand. We find an erect spine as much as possible. Reach the left arm forward with the thumb up, and then sweep the left arm wide and as far back as you can. And then close back towards the feet. Do this a few more times. Try to remain stationary from the belly button down. Here's our last one. As your left hand reaches forward, it catches the strap. Right hand releases. Down to your back. Right arm is out to the side with the palm down, and left leg sweeps open to the side. Gather your leg back through center. Sit all the way up and release the strap. We're done with that for the moment. Let's bring hands back behind us in like a reverse table setup. Feet or hips width distance apart. Fingers point out to the sides or point back. And my butt is evenly spaced between my hands and my feet. Push down into your heels and into your entire hands to bridge your hips up. Think about trying to lift just your collarbones towards the ceiling. Think about trying to send your tailbone in the direction of your knees rather than letting it drop towards the floor or towards your heels. And then sit all the way down. Let's do that a few more times and think of this almost like a reverse cat-cow. Inhale, lift. And exhale, lower. Maybe your chin tucks and you let your elbows bend and your shoulder heads roll forward. You could rock back into a little bit of a wrist stretch. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. One more, inhale, lift. And exhale, lower. And then we'll go ahead and sit up and cross the legs. Right ankle comes in front of the left, and you'll just fold forward. Let's sit up and inhale, reach arms overhead. Exhale, twist to the right. Inhale through center, left hand stays on the right knee. Right arm reaches up and over. Rib cage juts out towards the right. And then cross your right arm over your left. Take a hold of your left knee towards the outsides of the knees so that you can pull inwards with the hands as the knees ground towards the floor and the chin tucks. Hopefully getting a nice stretch along the inside edges of the shoulder blades. And then we'll inhale and reach up and sit tall. And exhale, supported twist over to the left. Inhale, left arm reaches over. Rib cage pops out towards the left. And then left hand down. Find that push-pull from the relationship between the hands and the knees. Find your chin tucking and your upper spine rounding in. Let's release the hands and sit up and switch out the crossing of the legs so the left ankle is in front. And walk out into a fold again. And sit up. This side we'll just rest hands on knees and circle the shoulders. So imagine that there were like a wall to either side of your shoulders and a dot of paint on the outside of each shoulder, and you were trying to draw a circle on the wall with that dot of paint. And all such directions of those circles. And then let's bring hands behind the head. Lift your rib cage towards the ceiling. Lift your sternum towards the ceiling. Elbows stay wide. Cervical spine, so your neck follows the same trajectory as the rest of the spine, so there's not a big crick in the neck. And then we'll round in and hug your elbows in towards your belly button. Maybe you squeeze your head a little bit. Inhale, lift. Exhale, round in. Inhale, lift. And exhale, round in. Let's sit tall and release the head. This is going to look different depending on your experience level, where your body's at with dynamic movements. If it works for you, you'll hug your knees into your chest. You'll rock forward and plant your feet and reach forward and stand all the way up and take a deep breath in. And then you'll exhale and sit back, kind of through chair, butt all the way down, rock back and up. And we'll use this as kind of an alternative to a sun salutation. You could do this with the support of your hands a little bit more. It doesn't have to be super graceful as long as it doesn't feel painful. We're just getting the heart rate up a little bit, getting up and down off of the floor, flexing the spine, flexing the shoulders. Let's do one more. We'll end up standing. Take a deep breath in, reach your fingertips towards the ceiling, and then exhale, hands to your heart. Let's check in with our posture. Take the back of your right hand to your sacrum, so it's not your low back, it's not your butt. It's kind of that no man's land right in between. And then your left hand will come to the back of your head. So my left palm is on the back of my head. The back of my right hand is on my sacrum. And I'm going to close my eyes and try to bring my two hands into one vertical line. So I'm trying to feel that my left hand is directly above my right hand. And my right hand is directly below my left hand. For a lot of people, this might mean that the core needs to turn on a little bit more. Maybe the head needs to move back slightly if it's pitched forward. And then you'll keep your eyes closed and you'll switch your hands out. So the back of your left hand comes to your sacrum. Your right palm comes to the back of your head. And you check back in. Little proprioception exercise, or your body's ability to determine its place in space. Let's move a little faster and treat this more like a exercise for the shoulders. If you have more mobile shoulders and want to start reaching your hands closer towards each other, feel free. Notice if in order to do that, your spine has to change position. And if it does, try to scale back a little bit. Keep that nice erect line of the spine going. Let's do one more to each side. And then we'll just release hands down by your side, shake out a little bit. And then feet or hips width distance apart, palms face forward by your sides. We're in a more traditional, like yoga mountain pose. Close your eyes. See if you can feel a line from your heels to your knees, to your hips, to your rib cage, to your shoulder girdle, to the crown of your head. And then we'll blink eyes open, inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands and step back to plank. Try to keep that same relationship between the back of your head and your sacrum intact in your plank. You can stay here for 30 seconds, or you can step your right foot off of your mat and then your left. So that was 1, 2, and you'll do 30 of those. So that'd be 3, 4. You can switch the leading foot as you think of it. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. 2 extra to get your feet back on your mat. Lower all the way down to your stomach. And if as you lower to your stomach, you notice different segments of your body kind of collapsing or hitting the ground first, then I want you to bring your knees down first. Find that engaged line starting at the knees out through the crown of the head. Same interrelationship between sacrum and head. And then lower from there and see if everything can hit down at once. Bring your arms back behind you. Lift your head and shoulders. Lift your arms and legs. And then press back to child's pose. Take a few deep breaths here. In your child's pose, lift up, gather your hands in a little bit, tuck your toes under, knees are wide, and try to hover your knees away from the mat and magnetize your belly towards your thighs. And then this is going to be another somewhat dynamic transition. Think about springing out of your legs to step your right foot to where your right hand was and drawing your right elbow back. And then we're going to bring the right hand back down to where the right foot was and step back into our loaded child's pose position. And then we'll step the left foot forward. It's going to land where the left hand was. And we'll pull the left elbow back. Left hand plants. And foot steps back. Let's do that with the right foot. And back. With the left foot, look forward and back. One more round. Right foot forward, hips sink forward, and press back. Left foot forward, and press back. And we're going to step the right foot forward again. We're going to drop the back knee down and heel toe the right foot wide. Hands are to the inside of the right foot. Let's shift back towards half splits. Lift your right toes away from the floor. See if you can crawl your hands a little further forward. See if you can draw your chest a little further forward. And then lunge into it again. Maybe keep your hands where they were at. Let's shift back. And lunge forward. Shift it back. And lunge forward. You can stay here in lizard lunge, or you can circle the right hand up and around and catch a hold of your left foot. And then you have 2 options here. The left foot can kick back, and that invites your spine and your shoulders into more of a twist. Or you can use your right hand to gather your left heel in towards your butt, and then drop the right shoulder towards the floor. So the spine remains neutral. We've eliminated the twist, and we've exaggerated the quad stretch. And sometimes it feels really good to alternate between those 2 options. So inhale, kick back and twist. And then exhale, gather in and square forward. You can play around with it. Let's stay here for one more breath. And then you'll extend your left foot back. Heel toe your right foot into center. Tuck your back toes under and lift your back knee. Straighten out your right leg as much as you can. And then bring your hands up to your hips and stand all the way up. My back heel is lifted. My legs are straight without the knees collapsing into walkout. And then I'm gonna imagine that there's like a rope around my hips. And I initiate the movement by pulling back on that rope. And at the same time, I'm imagining that I'm trying to stretch my chest as far forward as I can. I'll inhale and stand up so that rope goes slack. The chest rebounds back. And then exhale, pull back on the rope as you reach with your chest. Let's stand up and inhale. And exhale, reach forward. You're gripping the mat with your right foot. Inhale, lift up, ease off. And exhale, hinge forward. And then bend your right knee as needed. Hands come down to frame the right foot. And it steps back, sets down or not. Take a vinyasa. Step or hop your feet to your hands.